I wonder if the devil has something to do with that. You can hardly go to a movie, I'm told, today that doesn't have a nude scene in it. Our obsession with nudity. This man had no clothes on. And then notice he was mentally deranged. 1 out of every 4 Americans right now, 1 out of every 4 families is affected some way by mental derangement. Over half of all hospital beds in America at this hour are occupied by mental patients. Could a great deal of this be demons? I don't know, because I could not say that everybody that is in a mental hospital has a demon. That's not true. Many of them have organic problems and psychological problems that may have nothing to do with the devil. But there are many people, I'm convinced, that are under the control and the power and the influence of demons who suffer from mental derangement. And then notice that he was uncontrollable. Nobody could control this fella. They tried to tie him up. They tried to put him in prison. They tried to put him in a mental institution. He broke out. He seemed to have supernatural power, and he was a violent man. Has there ever been an hour when there's been so much violence? Everybody wants peace, and they hold up the peace sign, and we all believe in peace, but somehow we don't get peace. Violence and rioting and killing and murder. Some newspapers today in our big cities don't even print the murders any longer. There's so many every night. They just list them in one spot. And you can look over at a certain place and you just read it like you would a baseball score. How many muggings last night? How many rapings last night? How many murders last night? Violence, violence, violence. This is one of the characteristics of the devil and demons. And I want to tell you, we're not going to stop it just with more police power. We've got to have prayer power and spiritual power. We've got to have people on their knees praying. And we must have a spiritual awakening in this country. And then notice he dwelt among the dead. The Bible says that this fellow lived out in the tombs. He lived in a cemetery. And did you know the Bible teaches that we are dead in sins and trespasses before we come to Christ? Your body is alive, but your soul, your spirit is dead toward God. You need to be made alive. And you could be made alive tonight if you let Jesus touch your life. Let me tell you, Jesus Christ can come into your heart right now and take that guilt away. He can wash the past away. Have you had race prejudice? He'll take it away. He can give you love in your heart. Have you broken God's moral law and you've committed sin? He'll take it away and wash it away and give you a power to resist temptation tomorrow. And Jesus stood face to face with this wild, angry, violent, naked, bleeding man. And inside the man, a supernatural voice began to speak and say, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the living God? Don't torment us. What have I to do with thee?" The rich man says, "I don't need the gospel because it's for the poor." The intellectual says, "Oh, it's for the working, it's for the uneducated." The common man says, "I can't understand it." The radical says, "It's not revolutionary enough." What have I to do with thee? I want to tell you, every one of us has something to do with him. And if you don't have something to do with him in this life, you're going to have something to do with him in the future life. Because there's coming a day when every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord and God. You may not bow your knee down here to him, but there's coming a day when you will bow your knee. You will be forced to bow your knee in that day when we shall all stand before him. Jesus said, "What is your name?" He wasn't talking to the man. He was talking to the demon in the man. And out came the answer. "We are legion. We are many." This man wasn't occupied by just one devil. He had many devils. It says about Mary Magdalene that she had 7 devils. Think of it, 7 demons possessing one person. Jesus, all of a sudden, commanded as he did the sea the night before. He said, "Come out of the man." And then those demons prayed a prayer. Now, there were 3 prayers prayed that day. 2 of them were answered. 1 was not answered. Notice here, the demons prayed a prayer. They immediately recognized Jesus. They knew him to be the Son of God. They knew that he had power over them. They knew that he could send them to hell. So they prayed. They said, "Jesus, please don't send us to hell. You see those swine up there? 2,000 hogs. Send us to the hogs. We'd rather go there and live in the hogs than to go to hell."